Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you guys saw, the Canadian Tire money is back, which means we're going to be talking about money today. And I'm actually very excited for this video because it's super relevant to what I'm going through in my life right now, some decisions that I have made literally today that served as the inspiration for this video. So I hope it can be helpful and relevant to you as well. And let's get into it. Wait, before we get into it, let me tell you guys, if you want more than these 5 tips, I have so many videos on personal finance, on ways to spend money, things I don't spend money on, all of that. So I will link down below 2 playlists of mine that are all about money, all of the videos I've filmed over the years. So you can go ahead and binge those if you really want to get into a positive financial mindset. I am here for you. So go ahead and check those out and make sure you're subscribed to follow along on this journey and keep in touch with all of my videos. So today's video is going to be all about money saving tips for the summer and also talking about summer spending habits. Now, I talk about spending all the time here on my channel. We have a monthly money check-in that we do, and my spending and my mentality surrounding spending has changed so much from like May, June to now here we are almost mid-July. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And yeah, I'm just excited to like implement these changes, to share them with you. And I don't know, I'm rambling. So there were kind of 2 sources of inspiration for this video. One is that I sort of just naturally started spending less. And when I realized that I was spending less and I realized I was doing certain things, it felt really good and I felt really proud of myself. So that was inspiration number 1. And number 2 is some conversations that I've been having with people in my life and also with you guys talking about inflation and recession, interest rates, all of that. So I know a lot of us have been experiencing rising prices where we live. Things feel really, really expensive. Gas is really expensive and interest rates are going up, and it can be really scary. I know, I feel you, I'm with you if you feel scared, if you feel worried, nervous, like I'm so with you on all of that. So I wanted this video to serve as like a positive source of inspiration for some ideas that we can all do to save money this summer, to look after ourselves. And yeah, you know, whether hard financial times are coming or not, whether you're personally affected by it or not, I think we can just stay positive about it and try and keep fear away as much as possible. So that is my intention with this video, and I really hope you like it. I've got some great tips. I've got 5 great money saving tips for the summer. But before we dive into those, I want to talk about summer spending habits because this is something I've been reflecting on a lot lately. So if you're familiar with my monthly money videos, then you know that I was kind of spending a lot, quite a bit. Not necessarily a lot in terms of like dollar values or dollar amounts, because that's actually relative to all of us. What is a lot to some might not be a lot to others, and that all depends on your income, the way you were brought up, and where you live, and all of that. But the frequency of my spending was quite high. I was eating out a lot. I was going out for coffee a lot. You know, I'd go for a walk in the morning, grab a coffee and a muffin, and it felt great. I felt like I had that feeling of like living my best life, and it really did feel great. And I sort of justified all of that spending with, well, it's summertime. Summertime it's too hard to save money in the summer. It's too hard to cut back my spending in the summer. And so I kind of gave myself like a green card in that sense to just keep spending. Now, that's fine if you are in a really healthy financial place, or if that's just what you want to do. I'm not here to judge you. But for me, where I realized like, you know what, is that what I want to prioritize, that like best life feeling? Or do I want to prioritize my savings, which will contribute to a sense of security, which actually will give me that best life feeling because every single day I feel secure rather than like I feel nice with a coffee in my hand. So reflecting on all of that, and then reflecting on just like summertime and how actually summertime is a great opportunity to save money. I also thought about wintertime, and I was like, you know, that was so it's hard to save money in the summer. That was my excuse, because you want to go out and you want to be a part of things. That was my excuse. But then in the winter, what's my excuse for spending? Well, winter sucks. I'm sad. I gotta go out for dinner. I gotta spend money. And if I reflect on both, I'm like, well, Zoe, you can't have both. You have to pick one. And I would actually rather pick spending in the winter, because winter is way more miserable and it's way harder to find fun, free things to do in the winter time. So from here on out, today is actually July 13th when I'm filming this, we are going into frugal mode for the rest of the summer. For that reason, for the reason that things are just too freaking expensive, and for the reason that I really want to take care of future me, and I want to prioritize that over going out for dinner all the time, going out for coffee all the time. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to habits is we all have things that we like to spend our money on, and I'm really not here to like demonize spending or shame anyone for what they want to spend on. I like to spend my money on clothes. I would rather spend money on clothes than spend money on makeup or on alcohol, but you could be the complete opposite. So just keep that in mind that, you know, spending isn't bad, but spending on things that don't actually bring you joy, well, that is something to reconsider. And also keep in mind that as I give examples throughout the video, what I give an example of might be something that you really like spending on, and so you can just flip it with something that doesn't actually bring you joy. And that might take a little bit of reflection, but I think that's a great thing to reflect on. All right, are you guys ready? Let's get into my 5 tips for saving money during the summertime. So tip number 1, I think, is the most important tip, and this goes for everything in life, but you have to tell other people. You don't need to make it your Facebook status, and you don't need to post all over your Instagram about it, but I do think it's important when you are on your financial journey, when you are trying to save money, when you are working on yourself in any way, especially those people that are closest to you, telling it and saying it out loud to them is so helpful. And it's so helpful for many ways because, one, when you verbalize something, you put that concrete. If you want to get spiritual, I believe that when you say things out loud, you're speaking to the universe, and that helps bring them to you as well. But really, like at a basic level, if you don't tell your friends that you want to save money and that you want to spend less, your friends won't know, and they can unconsciously, like it's not their fault, they can bring you down. And an example that I thought about was, let's say you are trying to cut out meat or red meat, or you want to be vegetarian, whatever. If you don't tell your friends that you want to be vegetarian, well, what if they bring you to the steakhouse, you know? And then there's temptation right in front of you. It's not their fault, it's your fault because you didn't tell them. So if you tell them, they're gonna be like, no problem, let's go somewhere where everyone can enjoy. And that's the same with budgeting. If you tell your friends, hey guys, I'm really on a budget this month, I'm really tightening my spending the next couple months, I can't afford to go to this sushi restaurant, let's go somewhere else, your friends are gonna be on board. And so it's so important to tell people for that reason, in that let people support you, let people join in with you, and very rarely are people gonna be like, no, I wanna spend money, like very rarely. My life with finances changed significantly when I started telling people about it. I started telling the internet through my videos, but I started telling my friends and having these conversations with my friends. And not only did it help my wallet and my savings tremendously, but it also added a new element to my friendships where we could talk about money, and there was no more like stigma around talking about money with friends. And that really brought our friendship to the next level too. So I just think the more people you tell, the better. And you also don't know who you could be helping along the way. Maybe one of your friends has been kind of suffering in silence with their finances, and by you saying it to them, you allow them to kind of realize too, like, hey, yeah, let's do this together. So that brings me to tip number 2, which is to grab a buddy. Now, this is different from tip number 1, but of course very similar in that just because you tell people doesn't mean they have to come along with you. I have a lot of friends who are like, yeah, no problem. When we're hanging out, I'm gonna respect that you're on a budget, but they live their life and they do whatever they want with their money, and I'm just like not involved with that. And that's okay. But when you grab a buddy, you will feel the effects of this, and you will be so much more successful, I believe, as long as your buddy is accountable. So grabbing a friend, getting on a budget with a friend or with your partner if you're in a relationship can be so helpful. This is a person that can hold you accountable, that will go out for cheap dinners with you, that will stay home and cook with you, that will watch a movie on Netflix instead of going to the cinema. find someone who can really support you through this. And so this friend doesn't need to be like glued with you all the time to make sure you don't spend, but I have friends that when I'm in a spending mood, I'll send them the thing I'm thinking about spending, or I'll send them a text and be like, oh my gosh, I'm really like in the mood to go shopping. And they'll be like, no, Zoe, calm down. So going from telling others to then taking it to the next level and really grabbing a buddy and like an accountability partner, I think is so, so helpful and will just take your financial journey to the next level. I wanna take a minute here to talk about finances in a relationship, because finance and friendship is one thing, and then when I got into a relationship, it just was like a whole new game. It's a lot easier to say no to friends than it can be to say no to a romantic partner sometimes. Also, the way you pay for things in a relationship may be different. For example, my boyfriend and I don't really ever split the bill. It'll either be he pays for everything or I pay for everything, which is a lot harder on your wallet than in a friendship where most of the time you end up splitting the bill. So getting the person you're dating, your romantic partner, on board, I think is very important, because otherwise, again, you could be left in the dust, or you go out for a dinner and it's your turn to pay and you're like, oh shit, you know, I've got this like very expensive bill for two to pay for. And that can look different depending on the relationship. Maybe your partner is really comfortable with finances and they're like, no worries, I'll pay for everything. Well, that would be great, but I feel like that's not the case for most of us. So why not challenge your partner or bring your partner on board with this spending journey with you and say like, hey, like let's cut back together. It can be hard to have those conversations in a romantic relationship, I know. But recently, today actually, my boyfriend and I started talking about it, and we'd been kind of slowly moving in this direction of realizing like, ooh, we've been spending a lot. And I think that's normal in a new relationship. Like, you're excited and you want to go to dinner and you want to go to the movies and you finally have someone to go to this fancy restaurant with and whatever. But we've both kind of realized like, oh, our habits together have gotten very expensive. And we finally like had a conversation today being like, let's both cool it with the spending. Let's have fun, cook dinner together. We can make nice date nights at home. We'll do all of the things that are available to us for free or for less, and it'll be great. So I think that in friendships or in a relationship, talking about money brings it to the next level, like I said, and it can really deepen your friendships and really deepen your relationship as well when that whole relationship, friend or romantic, doesn't rely on spending money. You really get to know the real person and really see if you two are compatible in other ways than just sitting at a restaurant together. So the conversation with my boyfriend went great. My only regret is that we didn't have this conversation sooner. I think we'd both been thinking it, but might have both been a bit too shy to say something. And with friends, I've never had a conversation go badly. And honestly, if a conversation does go badly, that says a lot more about your friend than it does about you. All right, so those first two tips aren't necessarily summer specific. Those can be applied to anything, but especially when we are in that summer spending mindset, well, that's when it's really important to tell our friends. Now, this next tip is very summer specific, and it is just to enjoy summer. Summer is gorgeous. It is the best time. If you're like me and your city is like winter, summer, and you wait all year round for summer, why spend it inside a restaurant? Why spend it inside, I don't know, a movie theater? Like, summer is the time to be outside, and there are so many things we can do for free in the summer that why not take advantage of them and save up your money for the winter time when there's way less to do and outdoor winter activities can be expensive. So when you want to hang out with a friend, why not just go for a walk? Go explore a new part of the city. Go explore your neighborhood. Look at the houses, look at the trees, look at how beautiful everything is. You can even go for a walk and not get a coffee. You can bring your own. Look here, you guys. This is my very covered in condensation iced tea. You can make these for you and a friend, put them in a little to-go cup and go have a walk, and there you go. You have a 30-cent date with your friend. I also filmed my recipe for this. I'm gonna insert it right now as a little summer treat for saving some money. So you're gonna start with a cup full of ice. I'm gonna go in my fridge, grab this. That's the tea. And I like to add a bit of milk to it. So this is like an unsweetened coconut milk. I love how it looks when it does that. You get that Starbucks look. Then I'll grab a straw, mix it up, and you're good to go. You literally have a Starbucks-esque drink at home for like 30 cents. So to actually make the tea, I use this Ahmad Earl Grey. I love Earl Grey, it just has so much flavor. You guys can see this is huge. This was $10 and it lasted me like 6 months. I just finished it actually making this batch. I will make it in the French press or in a regular teapot, and you just make it as normal. You boil water, you put it in, and the difference with the iced tea is you want to let it steep for much longer. This I actually had in my fridge overnight so that all the flavors can really absorb. I have this tea measuring spoon from David's Tea, which I think is about just like, what, a tablespoon? I don't know. But make your tea as you like to, and then if you're worried, make it a little bit stronger, and there you go. And if you like it sweetened, add your sweetener while the tea is hot. Otherwise, it won't dissolve as well. So that's how you get your Starbucks for 30 cents. You might be sweating all over the place, but it's still good. So here in Montreal, we had COVID lockdowns for a lot longer than some other cities or countries in the world. And I actually have some really great memories from times when the restaurants were shut down, it was takeout only, and I would just lie in the park with my friends on a picnic blanket, and we would either get takeout or buy snacks at the grocery store, and we would sit down in the sun, and we had our dogs next to us, and those are just like really, really beautiful memories to me. It was so much fun, and that can literally be free. So just remembering that is like so wonderful, and you don't need to spend a ton of money to have fun with your friends in the summer. Just get outside or gather up in someone's house and have a movie night. Like, there are so many ways. Another thing fitness-wise is if you're someone who likes to pay for workout classes, a great way to save money in the summertime is by going and doing a workout in the park outside or going for a run. Those are literally free. Basically anything to do with getting outside is a great way to skip out on spending on something else and just hang out and have fun for free and enjoy the city. A lot of cities will also put on free activities. I know my neighborhood had like Pilates in the park. There are some local businesses that will do like bar in the park or whatever. So there's just really, really great free things you can find around your city in the summer. And I also want to encourage, especially in the summertime when it's a lot easier, walking, biking, public transit, whatever it may be. Great way to skip out on your car. Gas is so expensive right now. I've been leaving my car alone and just opting for walking or taking the shareable bikes we have here in the city. Tip number 4 is my favorite tip. Like, I really, really love this one, and that is to pick one. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times when we leave the house, we go out, we go for a coffee. We don't just get a coffee, we'll get like a coffee and a croissant. If we go out for dinner with friends, we're not just going out for dinner, we're having dinner and drinks, a movie and popcorn. And when you buy 2 things, you double the price of your bill, right? Like maybe coffee is $4 and your croissant is $3. Movie was $15 and your popcorn's like $20,000. You know what I mean? Cocktails are literally the same price as a meal sometimes. You guys know how I feel about alcohol. It is so expensive. So by picking one, you cut your bill in half, and it is a much more affordable way to leave the house. Like I said, I'm not trying to demonize spending. I'm not telling you guys to like lock yourself in your house or lock yourself in the next door park and like don't hit the restaurants and don't, you know, whatever. It's fun to go out. It's fun to have coffee. It's fun to enjoy local restaurants. I get it. But if you can just pick one, you're gonna save so much money. Now here's an example. My boyfriend and I went out to my favorite tacos restaurant, Tacos Victor. We go there a lot. And oftentimes when we go, I would get like one of those nice like slushy pina coladas, and he would get a margarita, and then we have all of our tacos, the chips and guac, the ceviche. It's beautiful, right? And even though that's not a super expensive restaurant, when you have all that food and then you have those drinks, your bill really goes up. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we didn't get drinks, And we were like shocked by actually how affordable that was. So by cutting out alcohol, we literally cut our bill in half and made for a much more affordable date night. So when you do go out, try that tip to just pick one, or if you're super hungry, you know, how many times have we gone to the restaurant, we're super hungry, we ordered tons of food and then we don't even finish it. So try removing stuff from your bill. You can always order more later. Cut back on the alcohol, or maybe just go for drinks. Whatever it may be, removing little things really does make a difference on your bill and will allow you to have a more affordable but still super fun way to go out and enjoy. Okay, you guys, tip number 5 is to reframe your mindset around savings. Oftentimes we can view saving money, cutting back on our budget as a punishment, and we think like, ugh, I have to save. Or it can come from a place of fear, like, oh my gosh, things are so expensive, I have to cut back. And when we treat it as something negative, we can either feel like it's torturing ourselves the whole time that we're doing it, and we can't wait to stop, or we say, I'm only gonna do it for a month. But if you can reframe your mindset to having spending less actually be a privilege and a way to take care of yourself and commit and invest in your future self and in your life, well, then it can be something that's much more enjoyable and much more sustainable. Because I don't know about you guys, but in times when I've viewed savings as like a punishment or had it really coming from a place of fear, it'd be like as soon as I got paid or as soon as like I was feeling better, I would end up splurging and undoing all of that work that I had done on my savings. But if you really tell yourself like saving money, working on your budget, working on your financial self is actually a privilege, and it's really like a form of self-care, you can really have it last a lot longer and just be so much more enjoyable. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the ups and downs, not focus on, oh my God, I'm not going out for dinner here, or I didn't buy that, or whatever. Like not focusing on what you don't have, but focusing on what you do have. I have a beautiful neighborhood to go for walks in. I have great friends that we can hang out literally just by lying on the floor and being silly. I have, you know, a gorgeous dog that I can take for walks that's free. I have a great coffee maker that makes delicious coffee at home. You can choose to see all of the positives with what's left when you reframe your mindset. Something that I'm excited about with this particular round of tightening the belt is I want to see it as a chance to learn new skills, new cooking skills. How can I make the most perfect picnic basket? Maybe I'll be able to read more, like focusing in on certain things. And a lot of the times they're things that maybe we say we really want to do. Like I want to drink less coffee. I want to cook more. I want to read more. But we fill our time with those other things like going out and drinking and whatever. Now is our chance when we reframe our mindset and we tighten back. Now is our chance to focus on these things. It's a chance to build deeper relationships with your friends. It's a chance to get out in nature, to enjoy your city. I really think that this can be a fun adventure, and that can help take away a lot of the fear that we might be feeling right now, or a lot of the pressure to keep up and to spend. Don't worry about it. Just have some fun. Reframe your mind. This is a privilege. So I want to end it on that note. This is an awesome chance to have fun, challenge yourself, and invest in future you. Saving money really can be fun. Get your friends on board. I hope you like and can follow and get something out of some of these tips. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's any money saving tip that you use for the summertime or anytime, let me know in the comments. And I will be sure to keep you guys posted on this journey in my vlogs and in my monthly money updates. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. All right, you guys, that's a wrap on this video. It was so much fun. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.